Hello, sports fans. It is Monday, October the 20th, the year 2014. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. Hope you caught some of the games over the weekend. Let's recap what went on in the sports world the last few days. Let's start in the NFL. Let's go down to Baltimore, where the Baltimore Ravens just blow out the Atlanta Falcons 29-7. Ravens up to 5-2. Falcons down to 2-5. This was a complete demolition from start to finish. The Ravens did whatever they wanted on both sides of the ball. The Ravens have a really nice team. They play some good defense. We know Flacco is a solid quarterback. No one does a better job than the Ravens as far as personnel. They have a really good front office. The Ravens have now gone into first place, so nice job by Baltimore. The Atlanta Falcons, what in the world has happened to them? It wasn't too long ago that the Falcons were very close to being a Super Bowl team. Now they look like one of the worst teams in the league. They can't stop anyone. They're soft. I mean, we know they can't win on the road. Now their offense is falling apart. The Atlanta Falcons, a major disappointment this year. I mean, I cannot believe how bad the Falcons have become. So this game was a total blowout. Baltimore gets the win. Let's go down to Washington, where the Washington Redskins beat the Tennessee Titans 19-17. Washington up to 2-5. Tennessee down to 2-5. Cousins was actually benched in this game, believe it or not. Cousins is throwing interceptions left and right. I mean, I liked when Cousins first came in for Washington a few weeks ago. He was doing some nice things, but he has completely fallen on his face, throwing a lot of interceptions. Of course, RG3 is still hurt. They actually put in McCoy. McCoy actually rallied Washington yesterday. Washington gets the last-second field goal and wins. So Washington, even though they won, what a complete mess at quarterback. RG3 is always hurt. Now Cousins is benched. Now you got McCoy in there. I don't think he's the answer. And Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee won their opening game at Kansas City. I don't know how that happened. And they are 1-5 since. And they look like a really, really bad team. Of course, Laka still has not played, the last couple of weeks. I mean, you got Whitehurst in there. Tennessee, another bad team. So Washington gets the win there. We'll keep an eye on the quarterback situation. I don't know who's quarterbacking for them next week. Let's go to St. Louis, where the St. Louis Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks 28-26. Rams up to 2-4. Seattle down to 3-3. Rams had a big lead in this game. Seattle started to come back in the second half, and you're like, here we go again. The Rams are going to blow another lead. You know the Rams this year, they play one good half, one bad half. Last Monday night they had a big lead against San Francisco. Let that slip away. So it's 28-26 Rams late in the game. Rams are about to punt and give the Seahawks the ball back. The Seahawks we're going to have probably great field position. What do the Rams do? They fake a punt deep in their own territory. They get the fake punt, and they ended up running out the clock and winning the game from there. What a gutsy call by Fisher running that fake punt. It was a beautiful fake punt, completely fooled everyone, including me. I never thought they'd have the guts to do that. So great job by St. Louis there. I mean, really, really nice win for the St. Louis Rams. I mean, they let the game slip away against San Francisco, like I mentioned, but they really bounced back in a nice way here. Really nice job by the Rams. What is going on with Seattle? Is this not the classic Super Bowl hangover? I mean, Seattle is 3-3. Now they traded Harvin away to the Jets. Seattle's got all sorts of issues. Remember, that division is really tough. Seattle's in third place right now. They're behind the Niners. They're 2 games behind Arizona. I don't think 3 teams are going to get into the playoffs from that division. Remember, last year Arizona had a great record and they missed out on the playoffs. Could be the same thing this year. I mean, when you look at the rest of the league, you got big records, with Philly and Dallas, Green Bay, Detroit. I mean, Seattle is digging themselves a little bit of a hole here. Now, it's early. There's a long way to go. But I don't like the way Seattle is playing at all. I thought they'd respond here in a big way. They did not. So Seattle takes another loss. 3-3. Hard to believe. Super Bowl hangover for Seattle, without a doubt. Let's go to Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis Colts bombed the Cincinnati Bengals 27-0. Colts up to 5-2. They've won 5 in a row. Cincinnati down to 3-2-1, and they have not looked good at all the last 3 weeks. A.J. Green still out. Have to have him back in the worst way. Remember, Cincinnati already lost their second best receiver for the year. Now Green is out. Cincinnati looks like a mess. Just a few weeks ago, Cincinnati looked like one of the contenders. Now they don't look good at all. Total yards in this game, Indianapolis 506, Cincinnati 135. Are you kidding me? Oh, what a terrible performance by the Bengals. I'll tell you what, the Colts look like a legitimate contender this year. They look like one of the better teams in the AFC. We know Luck is, really, really good. The defense is starting to get a pass rush. I like Indianapolis. They've won 5 in a row. Cincinnati, they need A.J. Green back in the worst way. I mean, they are really struggling. Nice job by Indianapolis. Let's go down to Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Cleveland Browns 24-6. Jacksonville gets their first win. They're up to 1-6. Cleveland down to 3-3. What a disappointing loss by Cleveland. First of all, Cleveland is up 3-0 early in this game. Then they go up 6-0 late in the second quarter. Cleveland left all sorts of points on the board in the first half. Had numerous chances to have a big lead in this game. Couldn't expand the lead, so they're up 6-0. Jacksonville scores late in the second quarter, and that flips the game completely in their favor. Second half, all Jacksonville, they dominate the game. Cleveland was awful in this game, and Hoyer, who I thought has been having a nice year, he was atrocious in this game. I mean, he was just terrible. So Cleveland, after going 3-2 their first 5 games, looking good, they just blew out Pittsburgh. They laid a complete egg here in Jacksonville. So terrible loss by Cleveland. Nice job by Jacksonville. Hey, they've been competing hard the last few weeks. They've been close. They almost beat Tennessee last week. Had a field goal blocked. They were right there with Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. The Jacksonville defense the last few weeks has been playing better. So Jacksonville gets their first win of the year. Atrocious loss for Cleveland. These are the type of losses the Browns can't have if they expect to get to that next level. You've got to go out there and beat Jacksonville. Terrible loss by Cleveland. Let's go to Chicago, Soldier Field, one of my favorite stadiums, where the Miami Dolphins beat the Chicago Bears 27-14. Miami up to 3-3. Bears down to 3-4. All right, let me start with Miami. First of all, Miami played a solid road game from start to finish. A really nice win by Miami going on the road here. I was impressed with Miami yesterday. They dominated the game. They did whatever they wanted. I really liked what I saw from Miami on both sides of the ball, so nice job by them. Chicago was so bad yesterday. First of all, 3 turnovers. The crowd's booing. Cutler, they're so up and down, Chicago. I mean, we know that secondary isn't good. I mean, what is the deal with the Bears? One week they look good, then they look bad, then they score 1,000,000 points, then they can't score at all. I mean, the Bears 3-4. What a disappointment. I mean, I could see them taking a close loss here to Miami. This game was not close. I mean, the Bears at home. I mean, Miami just dominated them in Soldier Field. I mean, the crowd was booing the whole day. Terrible loss by Chicago. Awful. I mean, I don't think Chicago is a good team. I see them going 8-8 this year. They're that type of team. Up and down. The defense is not good now. The offense doesn't do anything yesterday. Just a complete mess, the Bears. Nice win by the Miami Dolphins. I like what I saw from them yesterday. Let's go up to Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills beat the Minnesota Vikings 17-16. Bills up to 4-3. Vikings down to 2-5. Orton to Watkins with 1 second left, and the Bills rally and win this game. I'll tell you, Minnesota's got to be heartbroken. They could have easily won this game, but Orton leads the team down the field right at the end. They hit the pass to Watkins with 1 second left, and the Bills pull out the victory. So really nice come-from-behind win for the Bills. I thought for a second there they were going to lose. Minnesota led a lot of this game. I said, wow, this would be a bad loss for Buffalo at home. I was saying, what are they going to do with Orton at quarterback? Maybe you get Manuel back in there. I mean, I don't love Orton, but Orton leads the comeback, so the Bills get the win. Nice job there. I still don't love Orton. I still think you got to get him out of there, put Manuel back in there. I mean, at least he can do, he can scramble, he can, beat you with his legs. Orton back there is like a wooden statue. He doesn't move at all. He did lead the comeback yesterday. They do get the win, the Bills, but they still have issues at quarterback. Hey, we know the deal with Minnesota. I mean, they're not a very good team. We'll keep an eye on the quarterback, see if he develops. I mean, Minnesota's not a good team. That was a heartbreaking loss yesterday. Let's go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the Green Bay Packers beat the Carolina Panthers 38-17. Green Bay up to 5-2. They've won 4 in a row. Panthers down to 3-1, which is good enough in that division for first place. Green Bay's hot now. Green Bay's won 4 in a row. Remember when they were struggling at 1-2 and Rodgers said, hey, Everybody calm down. I mean, let's just everyone calm down. We're going to be fine. They've won 4 in a row. The offense is clicking. Now, I don't love Green Bay's defense, but it has been playing a little bit better. You know what, Rodgers and those receivers in that offense, they're going to have a chance to win each and every week. Green Bay on absolute fire. Carolina's defense is not good this year. They had a very good defense last year, not good at all this year, but that division is lousy. I mean, Carolina are 3-3-1 is in first place. I told you Atlanta's struggling. We'll get to the Saints. I mean, we know Tampa Bay is awful. So Carolina right now, despite their record, good enough for first place. Green Bay on fire right now. Let's go to Detroit, where the Detroit Lions beat the New Orleans Saints 24-23. Lions up to a nice 5-2. Saints down to a very disappointing 2-4. If you're the Saints, I mean, come on, you can't win this game. They are up 17-3, New Orleans. They are up 23-10 late in this game. Remember, Johnson is not playing for Detroit, so Detroit's having a hard time moving the ball. And then what happens? Stafford hits Tate with 3 minutes left on that huge pass down the sideline. That makes it 23-17. Breeze has the interception, and then from there, Stafford hits Fuller with 1:48 left. Detroit takes a 24-23 lead, and they hold on to win. Graham played but didn't do anything for New Orleans. This was an awful loss for the Saints. You're up 13 points with less than 4 minutes to go, and you can't hang on and win the game. The Saints. I mean, they're another one that finds a way to lose on the road. The Saints, what happened to them this year? They don't look like the same team at all from the last few years. Atrocious loss by New Orleans. And like I said, because the division is still bad, they're right there. They're not too far behind Carolina. But I don't think the Saints are going to do anything major this year. This was the type of game Detroit would lose in the past. They would for sure have lost this game. Really nice comeback by Detroit. Without Johnson, they were able to get 2 touchdowns in the last 3 minutes. Really, really nice come from behind win for Detroit. Detroit a solid 5-2. New Orleans 2-4. They're not going anywhere this year. Let's go out to Oakland, where the Arizona Cardinals continue their winning ways. They beat the Oakland Raiders 24-13. Arizona up to 5-1. They lead the division. They're up by a couple of games. Oakland down to 0-6. Only team in the league with no wins. Arizona's up big early, then the Raiders cut it to 14-13, then the Cardinals pull away late. No surprise here in this game. The Raiders don't have a lot of talent at all. We'll see if Carr develops as a quarterback. They're just not any good. They competed for a lot of this game. Oakland, they were right there. They made it 14-13. They're just not good enough to win these type of games. Arizona, another solid job by them. Carson Palmer back playing well. Arizona 5-1. They are up by 2 games in the loss column over Seattle and San Francisco. Tremendous job by the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go to Dallas, the Big D, Jerry Jones Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys continue to stay on fire. They've won 6 in a row. They beat the New York Giants 31-21. Dallas up to 6-1. Giants down to 3-4. It's the same story with Dallas. Romo played well. Murray has been unbelievable at running back. Bryant making big plays all over the place. The defense taking the ball away. Nice job by the Dallas defense. Swarming, stripping the ball out. Really nice performance again by the Dallas Cowboys. They get the job done. This was a close game, but like good teams do, they pull away at the end. The Giants, listen. The Giants can beat the bad teams in the league, the mediocre teams. Anyone good they are going to have trouble with, like Dallas, like Philadelphia, like Detroit, like Arizona. I mean, the Giants can handle the weaklings of the league. You know, they can beat those type of teams. They can't beat anyone decent. Giants down to 3-4. They're in all kinds of trouble in that division. I mean, Dallas and Philly they only have 1 loss. The Giants already have 4. Giants 3 games behind both teams in the loss column. Could be a long year for the Giants. Let's go out to San Diego, where the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Diego Chargers 23-20. Chiefs up to 3-3. Chargers down to 5-2. Chiefs kick a last-second field goal in this game to win. Chiefs had the ball almost 40 minutes in this game, and San Diego only had it for 20 minutes. That was the story of this game. The Chiefs did a great job with ball control, kept Phillip Rivers off the field. The Chiefs are a very good 3-3 team. It's hard to believe the Chiefs in Week 1 lost at home to Tennessee. They'd love to have that game back, because if they played them now, they definitely beat them. The Chiefs really probably should be 4-2. They probably should have beat Tennessee in Week 1. The Chiefs have been playing very good football, and they've been playing a lot of the better teams in the league. So the Chiefs are a decent 3-3 team. They are a good 3-3 team. San Diego, hey, this was a tough loss for them. They're 5-2. San Diego's got a big one on Thursday night at Denver. That's a big game. San Diego loses that game. They're starting to fall behind in that division. I still think San Diego is a solid team. I still think they're a playoff team, but they did get clipped here by the Chiefs. Very nice game, though. I hope you caught it. Let's go to the Thursday night game in New England, where the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets 27-25. New England up to 5-2, Jets down to 1-6. New England blocks the last-second field goal. I'll tell you, the Jets did a lot of good things in this game. The Jets ran the ball right down the Patriots' throat. Keep an eye on that with New England in the weeks to come. Remember, New England lost Mayo for the year. They also lost their running back. So New England didn't have much of a running game. They couldn't stop the run. Jets ran the ball at will. I thought Geno Smith was much better in this game. Jets missed a lot of opportunities, though. They had the field goal blocked at the end. They settled for field goals a lot in this game. I actually liked what I saw from the Jets in this game, but they came up a little short. It was a classic case of good teams finding a way to win and bad teams finding a way to lose. So New England slips through. They got the win. I wasn't all impressed with New England. I was actually more impressed with the Jets, even though New England won the game. So New England up to 5-2. We'll keep an eye on them. Let's go to the Sunday night game, where the Denver Broncos just lay it on the San Francisco 49ers, 42-17. Broncos up to 5-1. Niners down to 4-3. Manning breaks Favre's record. Here we go again with Denver and Manning. I mean, they're gunning the ball all over the place. They're scoring 1,000,000 points. They're scoring 40 points again. Here we go. Is there any doubt Denver's going to go 13-3 this year and have the best record in the AFC again for like the third year in a row? How many times has Peyton Manning had these huge records in the regular season, whether it be with Denver or Indianapolis? Every year his teams go like 13-3, 14-2, 12-4. It's just unbelievable. And here we go with all the points again. I mean, 42 points against San Francisco. So Denver is going to have another huge regular season. We'll see what they do in the playoffs. I mean, it all comes down to the playoffs with Peyton Manning. They're starting to remind me of the Braves, you know, Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Well, actually, Peyton Manning in general, where the Braves all those years had like the best record in baseball. They were in the playoffs every year, and they only won the one World Series. That's what Peyton Manning's kind of reminded me of. Has these big regular seasons, and then in the playoffs falls a little short. But make no mistake about it, Denver's going to have a huge record this year, and Denver, to me, looks better on both sides of the ball this year. So we'll keep an eye on Denver. They look really, really solid. Big game against San Diego this Thursday night. As far as San Francisco, what a deplorable performance by the 49ers in a big game. Now, I know the 49ers have a lot of guys out on defense. I know that secondary is all beat up, and they only had 3 healthy cornerbacks. Can you somehow find a way to compete in this game? I mean, come on. You can't have a better performance than this. They got absolutely torched in this game. Atrocious performance by San Francisco. And I like the Niners more than anyone. I think when they're healthy, they're one of the better teams in the league. They were an inch away from beating Seattle last year. They've been close to getting to the Super Bowl. This was a very disappointing effort. Despite all the injuries, I thought they'd play a little closer than this. If you told me Denver won a close game, hey, nothing bad there. But come on, San Francisco, you got bombed in this game. This game was a total blowout from start to finish. So nice job by Denver. Awful loss by the San Francisco 49ers. Tonight you have Houston at Pittsburgh. I don't know what to make of that game. To me, it's a field goal game either way. I haven't been impressed with Pittsburgh at all. So that was your NFL over the weekend. Very strange week in the NFL. I mean, with the comebacks, I mean, you have Buffalo, Detroit, and Washington winning right at the end. I mean, very strange week in the NFL. Very, very strange week. All right, let's get to the college football real quick. Florida State hung on at home and beat Notre Dame 31-27. Notre Dame scores on 4th down late in the game, but it's wiped out by a pass interference call. So Notre Dame played really, really well, but comes up small. Now, Notre Dame didn't fall all that far in the rankings, so if they win the rest of their games, there's a chance they can get back to that Final Four, especially if Florida State goes undefeated. So I thought Notre Dame played as good as possible in this game. Got a bad break at the end, but they played well overall, came up a little short. Florida State escapes again. They've had a habit of doing this. They escaped last year in the national title game against Auburn, escaped this year against Oklahoma State and Clemson, and now they escape against Notre Dame. And Florida State really should run the table from here. There is no one that should beat them on their schedule. I mean, they have a soft ACC schedule. I think Florida State is going to go undefeated, so they escape here. Notre Dame, I thought, did play well, but Florida State gets the win. Ole Miss continues their winning ways. They bombed Tennessee. Ole Miss's defense is solid. West Virginia upset Baylor. Nice job by West Virginia. The West Virginia quarterback is electric. The fans were going crazy there in West Virginia. Baylor, hey, you got to play better defense if you expect to be a championship team. Baylor's defense the last few weeks has not been good at all. We're lucky to beat TCU, and here they got clipped on the road. Baylor's defense has been atrocious the last few weeks, so West Virginia gets the upset. How about Alabama routing Texas A&M 59-0? Watch out for Alabama. You know Saban can turn it around. You know Saban, he always gets it done. So keep an eye on Alabama. They could be turning the corner now after that loss to Ole Miss. They win 59-0 here. What's going on with Texas A&M? They've gotten bombed 3 weeks in a row. Hey, Texas A&M, wake up. Texas A&M's starting to become a one-trick pony. If they don't do it on offense, I mean, they just get blown out. Their defense is like Swiss cheese. Not impressed at all with Texas A&M. Could you put up some kind of effort? 59-0? Disgraceful. Kansas State upsets Oklahoma. What a win for Kansas State. Oklahoma misses an extra point and 2 short field goals. Oklahoma is out of the national championship race, that's for sure. They have 2 losses. They could have lost to Texas. Very disappointed in Oklahoma here. And how about Kansas State? How about Bill Snyder? Is this guy some kind of coach? I mean, he's doing it at Kansas State. That is an impossible place to recruit from, and here he is. They're in the national title hunt. If Kansas State happens to win the rest of the games, which I don't think they will because they have a tough schedule, they will be right there for Final Four consideration. Their only loss was to Auburn, and they could have easily won that game. Bill Snyder is a genius at Kansas State. Bob Stoops in Oklahoma, another disappointing loss here. Terrible job by them. Oregon, Michigan State, Georgia, TCU, and Ohio State all rolled over the weekend. Here's a game I wanted to touch on. Missouri beat Florida 42-13. Now listen to the stats in this game. You'd think they'd be overwhelming for Missouri, right? Missouri won 42-13 in Florida. Florida had 17 first downs to Missouri 7. Florida outgained Missouri 283-119. So you're sitting there going, how did Missouri win 42-13 if they only had 119 yards of total offense? Well, here's how they did it. They had a kickoff return for a touchdown. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They had a fumble return for a touchdown. And they had an interception return for a touchdown. Throw in that Florida had 6 turnovers. You talk about finding a way to self-destruct. Florida, what kind of disgraceful performance is that at home? You had 6 turnovers, gave up a kick return, a punt return, a fumble return, and an interception return in the same game at home to Missouri, who was shut out by Georgia last week. The Florida coach will be lucky to survive this year. Oh my, what a disgraceful loss by Florida. Missouri gets the win there. I had to touch on that game. The stats were so ridiculous. So that was your college football over the weekend. Remember, you got your World Series starting tomorrow. Should be a very fascinating World Series. San Francisco against Kansas City. San Francisco has been the gold star in the National League the last few years. They've won 2 of the last, 4 World Series. So San Francisco is a handful, and Kansas City with that running game, the home crowd, should be a really, really fun World Series. And of course, you know, the NHL has started, believe it or not. I've been watching a little bit of hockey. The NBA is ready to get going. College basketball is going to be here soon. It's going to be a busy time in the sports world. And real quick, I did catch some boxing over the weekend. Golovkin knocked out Rubio. I'll tell you, Golovkin is some fighter. I mean, this guy knocks out everyone. There's no one for him to fight. I hope they can make a Golovkin-Ward fight. They're not in the same weight class. Maybe they can make a catch weight. Maybe Ward comes down and Golovkin goes up. That would be some fight, Golovkin and Ward. I'd like to see that happen. But hey, I've been waiting for Mayweather-Pacquiao to happen for 10 years. That hasn't happened, so I won't hold my breath. And on the other card, Walters beat Donaire, knocked him out. Nice job by Walters. Looks like a decent fighter. What happened to Donaire? I thought Donaire was going to be one of these really, really good fighters. He looks terrible lately. He's getting beat left and right. Donaire, very disappointing fighter. Very disappointed with him. So I did catch some boxing over the weekend. So there you go. You guys are all set. You guys are all caught up. Tonight, of course, you have your Monday Night Football. Houston and Pittsburgh should be a very close game. tomorrow. NFL picks and college picks. I'm going to give you both of them tomorrow. College picks, I was pretty decent last week. NFL picks, I kind of had a rough week. Definitely, I was telling you the games that really cost me before. I mean, Detroit, Washington, and one other game, Buffalo, they all win at the end. I all had them to win, but they all don't cover the low spread. So I got burned on those three teams. They all win, but they don't cover the low spread. So that's the way the NFL works sometimes. Anyway, NFL and college picks tomorrow. I'm going to do both of them. We will go from there. You guys enjoy the Monday Night Football game tonight. You guys stay safe. Thanks for the support. Talk to you tomorrow. NFL and college picks coming up. Talk to you then. Take care.